Hi, I'm Marquell,
Hey, what's up? I'm Trevor,
and this
and
is
this is the
the
Huddle.
Huddle. Hey man, we want to welcome y'all to our second week, man. NFL preseason is ramping up. Teams are finally past their ramp up periods and able to get in pads and get to work. So we're gonna hit the hot topic that everybody's talking about right now. We have some breaking news today. NFL ended up giving Deshawn Watson 6 games, and Trevor, what do you think about that decision? Like, you think 6 games is enough, or is it too much? Or
Uh, honestly, I don't know. It's a tough subject because I know a lot of people are comparing it to past suspensions, like
Mhm.
for example, the Calvin Ridley situation where he's been suspended for a whole season, but um, he was I think his was like gambling in games that he played in or something like that, or
Mhm.
gambling in the NFL. But um, I would say this that it is a different system that
Mhm.
Deshaun Watson's process went. They actually got a third party to look into
Yeah,
the
they
situation.
got an actual
Mhm.
judge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they got a judge, and based off of the information that she got and the evidence that she looked at, and based off of the information in terms of player conduct that the NFL provided her, um, she came to that decision. And me personally, I think that they should honor that decision in terms of
Mhm.
playing football. In terms of the legal stuff, I think for the most part, we should let the legal stuff handle that and not conflate the two too much because like the NFL definitely wants to show that they have a conscience
Mhm.
and not uh overlook those women that had those accusations against Deshaun, and that is a
Mhm.
very serious topic, and we should all take that very seriously. But in terms of playing the games with her getting all the information that she did and us not really knowing what the information is,
Mhm.
I feel like that we should respect that system. And I mean, before Roger Goodell was the person just like, oh, this is
It's a
what you did.
dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dictatorship. But
Yeah.
yeah, like what I'll say, Trevor, is I the punishment I say is fitting just because he already set out the whole season. So like even when you think about it in real court and things like that, and I think the judge might have actually took this into account. Like say you get sentenced for something after you've been in jail for so long,
Mm-hmm.
you get time served on it. So you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So really, in my opinion, he's really got 23 game suspension, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the points you touched on were right about like the allegation stuff and like stuff like that. But like I think the decision to take the control out of Roger Goodell's hands is a big one because
Yeah. Yeah.
he was just controlling it way too much, and he wasn't necessarily using the fact based thing. It was just handing down harsh
Mm-hmm.
punishments.
Based off of what people felt. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely will say that it could go either way. I know depending on how you feel about the subject, but
Mm-hmm.
based on just like the evidence that we have and stuff like that, I think she made the best decision. And it's hard to say that a judge didn't make a good decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
who
Yeah.
would we just say? We didn't even hear the interviews or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, the point that I want to touch on is more about the appeals. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the NFL should not appeal the decision because
I agree.
it's basically just going to bring it back to another Roger Goodell decision. It's going to take away from everything that the players
Yeah.
work so hard for. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That can have other ramifications in different ways. So I think they should just take what the suspension was given, he serve it, and be done with it. Put it
Yeah.
behind us.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think that you made a good point with he already set out last year. I know he still got his salary, but he still didn't play football. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people would say, well,
Did he
you
get a
know,
salary?
yeah, he got paid his full salary last year. So Because he was
Well,
missing his
he got
event
paid. He
list.
got paid his full guarantee. He didn't get the
Hmm.
whole salary
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, like
performance based
yeah.
incentives and
In
stuff.
terms
Yeah,
of his contract and the incentives, he got the full guarantee.
yeah.
Yeah, but I know some people would come back at you on that, but at the end of the day, he like he said, it's like 20 some games that he's going to miss
Since
after the
last time
six
he's
game
played, yeah,
suspension. Yeah, so and even though he did get paid, that does still hurt him in terms of the brand, the ability for him to show that he still is that top quarter. Because once you miss 2 years in pro sports, people start having those questions about you. So that does still have a negative effect. Um, but in terms of what uh, the decision the judge came to, I do agree with you. I feel like we should rock with that decision and move forward with it.
facts. Now let's get to the fun stuff, Trevor. We do our weekly projections on what we think is going to happen in each division in the
Hmm.
NFL. So we're going to do the South divisions today, and I'll let you start it off. We're going to do the NFC South first. So,
NFC.
what are you thinking for the NFC South, man?
So top two is actually really tough for me, but I gotta go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like I just when it comes that's really the tiebreaker in my opinion because number two I have the Saints. Three, I'm going to go with the Panthers, and four with the Falcons. But the top two is the one that I struggled with the most because I feel like the Saints are going to have a really good season this year, with Jameis coming back, and then Michael Thomas is back. I know Alvin Kamara, he has a suspension. I believe that, or they're deciding on one or whether they should suspend him or not.
Yeah, he got a pending decision as well.
And then that Saints defense is going to be real. I think so. That was a tough decision, but I think the Bucks are right there in my opinion, and the deciding factor was Tom Brady for me. So that's why I went with the
Let me sit up in my chair real quick, Trevor.
Bucks.
I want to know how many times since Tom Brady is with Tampa Bay have they even beat the Saints?
Oh yeah, their record against them is not good, but at the end
And
of
the
the
way
day,
Jameis Winston was playing last
mhm,
year before he got hurt, and they added Chris Olave
yeah,
to the
yeah,
fold, and Michael Thomas is coming back. They didn't even have Michael Thomas last year.
you're right. You're right.
And it's the same defense, man. They're gonna shut stuff down, Trevor.
You're right.
The rest of it is right, but I have the Saints. I have the Saints winning that division.
Fair
And
enough.
I don't think it's gonna be that. Brady has lost a lot of talent receiver wise, and he has Julio. We don't know about Julio, man. Julio hasn't had a good year in a while. So we will see. And they lost Gronk. So who are they working with? Chris Evans?
Chris Evans, Godwin, and
Godwin is
Julio.
gone.
No, Godwin
I
is going
thought
to be
Chris
back.
Godwin was gone.
No, he's back. He's going to. I don't know if he's going to play opening day, but he's going to eventually
Oh
be
yeah,
back in
he's
the fold.
injured. That's
Hmm.
what it was.
Yeah, and they just picked up
But
Julio.
you saw how they were last year when Antonio Brown was out. They didn't look too good receiver wise.
Yeah,
Even with Evans and Godwin. And then
yeah,
Godwin got hurt too. So
yeah. Fair enough. And I get your point about the head-to-head matchup. The Saints have dominated Tom Brady.
and the Saints will have an easier schedule because they're not playing
You're right.
the teams that won
Opening. Yeah,
that
you're
they're
right
not gonna
about
have the
that.
teams that won their division last year.
But and I feel like the Bucks are still going to come out as the winner in the division, even though the head to head, like that's gonna be what it is. The Bucks still won the division last year and they did terrible against the Saints
I can
usually.
see the Saints going
So
6-0 in the division.
you can say that. Yeah, I mean I can see that, but
It's
I
hard to
don't know
go
if
6-0 in the division and not win it.
you're right. But and these are projections, but in my opinion, when you put the Bucks in there, and I mean they're just not playing each other the whole season. They still have other games, and the Saints have struggled outside of the NFC South in specific spots
I
during the
wouldn't
season,
I wouldn't
which
say that.
usually drops them.
I wouldn't say that. I
But
wouldn't
when they
say that.
needed to win games in order to clinch those games to win the South, they
When?
usually dropped them.
When?
Last year, when
They
they
didn't
were right
have a
behind.
quarterback.
But even then, like, yeah, you're right. But even then, Tom Brady and them still took advantage of it and won the South. Like,
They had
so
Trevor Simeon. Trevor.
you're
Who
right.
can win a division with Trevor Simeon?
You're right, Marco. I'm not saying you're not wrong. That's
So
why I had
just
it
think
very
about this.
close.
Imagine
But
imagine the team that almost won the division against a Buccaneers team that was better last year than they are this year, and you get your starting quarterback back, and you still think they can't win it.
But all right, now I'll say this. Yes, Jameis was started off very well, but he started to struggle as the season went on. So let's not act like
No,
Jameis
he
is
didn't.
just
He only
yes,
played
he
about
did.
5 games or something like that.
Like he started out really high, but then he started to throw interceptions again, and then he started leveling out. So it's not like he's like this crazy, like super nice guy that's going to carry the team. And you're right, he has
He don't
very
have to
good.
carry that
I know,
much.
I was about to say that. You're right, he has players around him that will help him out, and I feel like he's going to do very well. But I feel like once it comes down to it, we will probably see the Bucks at the end of the season. They will probably be NFC South champion.
I will agree to disagree, Trevor. Let's go
Fair
to
enough.
the AFC South. So I'll start first on that one.
Mm-hmm.
That one I gotta go with the best quarterback in that division, who is probably Matt Ryan
Yep.
and Jonathan Taylor. Great defense. I gotta have the Colts uh winning that division with the Titans as a tight second. And then I'll go with the Jags third because they were really making some strides towards the end of last year, and the Texans really kind of have no hope this year, in my opinion.
No,
So that's what I'll
that's
go with in the AFC South.
that is exactly who I had.
Mm-hmm.
I had the
Wow, we
Colts.
agree for once, man.
Yeah, I had the Colts because I feel like that team, honestly, that team had no business not even making the playoffs last year. Like
They
they should have been
choked
in
it
the
off.
playoffs.
Carson Wentz choked it off.
Yeah, so adding Matt Ryan, the veteran leader he is, and I feel like he still has some in the tank. And like you said, Jonathan Taylor, I feel like they'll definitely take that division. And then Tennessee, they still have Derrick Henry, so I think they'll come in second. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Jacksonville Jaguars will make a jump from last year. I feel like they'll be a lot
They
better
could
with Doug
potentially
Peterson.
they could potentially battle for that second spot, especially with ETN coming back.
Hmm. Yeah, and like you said, Houston, not much going on there right
Yeah,
now,
not
but
nothing going on there.
yeah. So no, I definitely agree. I think that's going to be the order. So I'm actually really excited for Matt Ryan going to the Colts. I feel like this is going to be a chance to advance pretty deep in the playoffs for him. That hasn't happened in a while. So
Hmm. Yeah, man. Now let's get to something else really good. So you mentioned to me this weekend. Well, we all saw Debo Samuel's got his money this weekend,
mhm.
and we started getting into the discussion about Debo Samuel's and DK Metcalf, and we were saying which receiver is going to have a better year, and we definitely disagreed on it. So I wanted to get your opinion
No, he
on.
didn't.
I thought you said DK was going to have the better year.
No, I misspoke. I said we were
Mm,
both going to say Debo.
Debo.
Because
So that's not even
it's
a
hand,
discussion.
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's hands down because like we all know the situation in Seattle,
Hmm. It's a whole bunch of
and
unknowns. Who even
yeah,
is their quarterback? Is it Bridgewater?
no, he Bridgewater is somewhere else, but it's Drew Lock. It's between Drew Lock and Geno Smith right now.
Gosh.
Yeah, so it's not looking good. So I was gonna say Debo
And the
because
type of routes that Debo succeeds on, like, are
mhm,
usually shorter routes and stuff like that.
mhm,
Like, usually he racks up a lot of rack yards.
yeah,
You know.
and I think he's going to be very big to the offense because now Trey Lance is going to be the quarterback, and they're going to lean on him heavy. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I misspoke in there. Like in the text, I did say DK, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
meant
over
to
here
say
thinking we got
Devo.
a heated debate to have.
No, 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 no. I that's why I said we're definitely not going to disagree on this because it doesn't make any sense. Like DK, I'm glad he got his money. Dude is a beast. He's a monster, but
Hmm.
he just don't have nobody throwing to him, and the team around him isn't as good as they have been in the past. So,
I always like to ask you one random tough question, Trevor, before
all
we get
right,
out
here
of
we
here,
go.
man. So,
Here we go.
as a fantasy team owner,
Hmm.
who are you picking first? If you had the number one overall pick,
Like what position or
what player are you picking first?
um? That's a good question. I would probably go receiver first and pick someone like Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill or something like that. That's probably what I would do. And I don't know. I haven't played fantasy in a minute, but I usually know you want to go for those skilled positions because they get you a lot of points usually. So those
Yeah,
are usually my
I definitely go either Tariq Hill or Debo Samuels because Debo also plays running back, so
Devo.
he can
Yeah,
give you the
he
best of
get
both
no carries.
worlds. Especially
Yeah.
if you're in a PPR league where you get points per reception, that'll be big time.
Hmm. Oh yeah, Marquez about to win his league this year.
Try to, man. I'm gonna try to.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna definitely try to. If you guys have any fantasy football questions, feel free to follow us on Instagram and shoot us a message, man. And as always, if you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and tell a friend to tell a friend about us, man. You know what I mean? Thanks for tuning in to our second episode of the Huddle for this season. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Appreciate y'all.